July 20th, 1944. Deep inside Hitler's Eastern Front headquarters, the Wolf's Lair, a briefcase sits beneath a wooden table. Inside it lies a bomb. Outside, a group of German officers waits nervously. If the bomb works, Adolf Hitler will be dead. If it fails, they will all be executed. This is the true story of Operation Valkyrie, the last desperate attempt by German officers to end the Second World War by killing their own Führer. By 1944, the Third Reich was collapsing. The Allies had landed in Normandy. The Soviets were pushing west. German cities were being reduced to rubble under Allied bombing. Inside Germany, a small group of high-ranking officers and civil servants had come to the same conclusion. Hitler had become a threat not only to the world, but to Germany itself. Among them were men of conscience, soldiers, aristocrats, and bureaucrats who had once served Hitler but now plotted against him. Their mission, to assassinate Hitler, overthrow the Nazi government, and negotiate peace with the Allies before Germany was destroyed. The German resistance was not a single organization, but a network of individuals united by moral conviction. Some opposed Hitler's crimes against humanity. Others believed he had led Germany into ruin. At its center stood Colonel Claus von Stauffenberg, a decorated officer from an old Prussian family. Brilliant, charismatic, and deeply patriotic, Stauffenberg had served in North Africa, where he was gravely wounded, losing his right hand, 2 fingers on his left, and an eye. But his spirit remained unbroken. He believed Germany's honor could only be restored if Hitler was removed. By 1944, Stauffenberg joined a growing circle of conspirators, including General Ludwig Beck, Henning von Treschow, Friedrich Ulbricht, and Karl Goerdeler. They called their plan Operation Valkyrie, originally a contingency plan designed by the army to suppress civil unrest. They would twist it into a tool for revolution. The conspirators knew they couldn't simply assassinate Hitler. They needed to control the chaos that would follow. Their plan was to kill Hitler, blame the Nazi Party for a supposed coup, and then use Operation Valkyrie, a reserve army mobilization plan, to seize control of the government in Berlin. Once Hitler was confirmed dead, the reserve army in the German capital would arrest top Nazi officials, disarm the SS, and establish a new provisional government. From there, they would reach out to the Western Allies to end the war. It was bold. It was dangerous, and it could only succeed if Hitler was dead. Between March and July 1944, the plotters tried multiple times to kill Hitler. Each attempt failed, either because of bad timing, canceled meetings, or sheer luck. General von Treschow smuggled a bomb onto Hitler's plane disguised as a bottle of liquor. But the detonator malfunctioned. Another conspirator planned to shoot Hitler during a briefing, but lost his nerve when Himmler wasn't present. Hitler's personal security, the Führer Begleitkommando, was nearly impossible to penetrate. He changed his schedule constantly, and his paranoia grew as the war worsened. By mid-July, time was running out. The Allies were advancing rapidly in the west, and the Soviets had launched Operation Bagration in the east. Germany was bleeding out. Stauffenberg decided it had to be done, personally and soon. Hitler's Eastern Front headquarters, Wolfschanze, or the Wolf's Lair, was located in East Prussia, surrounded by forests, barbed wire, and minefields. On the morning of July 20th, 1944, Stauffenberg flew in from Berlin carrying a briefcase with 2 British-made plastic explosives hidden inside. He was scheduled to attend a meeting with Hitler and his generals at 12:30 p.m. In a side room, he armed one of the bombs, his missing fingers making the task painfully slow. He couldn't arm both in time. With one device ready, he placed it in the briefcase, excused himself, and entered the conference hut. Hitler was standing over a map table. Stauffenberg quietly set the briefcase near him, close enough to ensure the blast would be fatal, and then left the room on a pretext of a phone call. At 12:42 p.m., the bomb detonated. The explosion ripped through the wooden structure, shattering windows and hurling debris into the air. Smoke and fire filled the bunker. 4 men were killed instantly, dozens injured. But Adolf Hitler survived. The heavy oak table had deflected the blast, and the thin walls had vented the pressure. Stauffenberg, believing Hitler dead, fled to Berlin to begin the coup. In Berlin, the conspirators launched Operation Valkyrie. Orders were sent to arrest SS and Nazi officials. The reserve army, under General Friedrich Fromm, was mobilized. For several tense hours, it seemed the coup might succeed. But as reports trickled in from the Wolf's Lair, the truth became clear. Hitler had survived. He was bruised and burned, but alive. By evening, he appeared on radio declaring, "A small clique of ambitious officers has committed a crime which must be punished without mercy." The conspiracy unraveled instantly. Loyal officers turned on the plotters. Telephone lines were cut. The reserve army halted operations. By nightfall, the Gestapo surrounded the Bendler Block, the army headquarters in Berlin. Inside the Bendler Block, confusion and betrayal reigned. Some officers hesitated, others fled. General Fromm, eager to prove his loyalty, turned on the conspirators to save himself. That night, Stauffenberg, along with Werner von Heften, Friedrich Ulbricht, and Albrecht Merz von Kernheim, were arrested and executed by firing squad in the courtyard. Stauffenberg's final words were, "Long live sacred Germany." In the days that followed, Hitler's vengeance was swift. The Gestapo arrested more than 7,000 people. Roughly 5,000 were executed, including Treschow, Beck, and many others. Entire families were punished. The dream of a free Germany was extinguished in blood. For Hitler, the failed plot confirmed his belief that only terror could maintain control. He became more isolated, more paranoid, and more determined to fight to the bitter end. For the Allies, the plot revealed that not all Germans followed their Führer blindly. It was proof that within the heart of Nazi Germany there were still those willing to die for what was right. After the war, surviving members of the resistance were honored as heroes of conscience. Stauffenberg's children, once shamed by their father's treason, became symbols of moral courage in a time of madness. Today, the Bendler Block in Berlin is a national memorial, the German Resistance Memorial Center, where visitors can see the very courtyard where Stauffenberg fell. Operation Valkyrie did not succeed in killing Hitler, but it succeeded in proving that even within a dictatorship built on fear, humanity can endure. It showed that conscience and courage are weapons as powerful as any army. When the gunfire ended that July night, Germany had lost its chance to end the war early, but it gained something deeper, a reminder that not every soldier obeyed blindly, and not every oath to a tyrant was unbreakable. Claus von Stauffenberg's name lives on as a symbol of resistance, a man who dared to act when others remained silent.